What is algorithm? Who invented it? In mathematics and computer science, an algorithm is a finite sequence of well-defined instructions, typically used to solve a class of specific problems or to perform a computation. Algorithms are used as specifications for performing calculations and data processing. By making use of artificial intelligence, algorithms can perform automated deductions, referred to as automated reasoning, and use mathematical and logical tests to divert the code through various routes, referred to as automated decision-making. Using human characteristics as descriptors of machines in metaphorical ways was already practiced by Alan Turing with terms such as memory, search and stimulus. In contrast, a heuristic is an approach to problem solving that may not be fully specified or may not guarantee correct or optimal results, especially in problem domains where there is no well-defined correct or optimal result. As an effective method, an algorithm can be expressed within a finite amount of space and time, and in a well-defined formal language for calculating a function. Starting from an initial state and initial input, perhaps empty, the instructions describe a computation that, when executed, proceeds through a finite number of well-defined successive states, eventually producing output and terminating at a final ending state. The transition from one state to the next is not necessarily deterministic. Some algorithms, known as randomized algorithms, incorporate random input. The history of algorithm. The word algorithm is derived from the name of the 9th century Persian mathematician Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, whose nisba was Latinized as algorithmi. He was a mathematician, astronomer, geographer, and scholar in the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, whose name means the native of Khwarazm, a region that was part of Greater Iran and is now in Uzbekistan. About 825, al-Khwarizmi wrote an Arabic-language treatise on the Hindu-Arabic numeral system, which was translated into Latin during the 12th century. The manuscript starts with the phrase Dixit algorismi, where algorismi was the translator's Latinization of al-Khwarizmi's name. Al-Khwarizmi was the most widely read mathematician in Europe in the late Middle Ages, primarily through another of his books, The Algebra. In late medieval Latin, algorismus, English algorithm, the corruption of his name, simply meant the decimal number system. In the 15th century, under the influence of the Greek word rho iota theta mu sigma, arithmos, number, cf. Arithmetic, the Latin word was altered to algorithmus, and the corresponding English term algorithm is first attested in the 17th century. The modern sense was introduced in the 19th century. Indian mathematics was predominantly algorithmic. Algorithms that are representative of the Indian mathematical tradition range from the ancient Sulbaya Sutras to the medieval texts of the Kerala school. In English, the word algorithm was first used in about 1230 and then by Chaucer in 1391. English adopted the French term, but it was not until the late 19th century that algorithm took on the meaning that it has in modern English. A partial formalization of the modern concept of algorithm began with attempts to solve the Entscheidungs problem, decision problem, posed by David Hilbert in 1928. Later formalizations were framed as attempts to define effective calculability, 25, or effective method. Those formalizations included the Gödel-Herbrand-Kleene recursive functions of 1930, 1934 and 1935, Alonzo Church's lambda calculus of 1936, Emil Post's Formulation 1 of 1936, and Alan Turing's Turing machines of 1936-37 and 1939.